Hillary Clinton is one of the most disgusting human beings on the planet.
You play with your balls a lot. Get your hand off my penis!
It would make me happy.
Got a couple balls and an extra set of fingers?
Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
And so what I believe
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
continues to be that there has to be responses and pushback from civil society, from various institutions and individuals outside of government, but there also has to be people in government in both parties who say, well, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And when what we're seeing right now is when you do not have those constraints and guardrails, right? When you don't have people inside of government who say, no,
my name is Jeff.
you know, this is how the law works, and we should follow it. Democracy is not self-executing. It requires people, judges, and people in the Justice Department, and people throughout the government who take an oath to uphold the Constitution. It requires them to take that oath seriously. And when that isn't happening, we start drifting into something that is not consistent with American democracy.
Everyone in this room is now dumber.
My God, that was awful.
Longest answer about nothing.
I don't know what that was about. I have no idea.
Greatest speech giver of our lifetime.
By the way, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
And I'm Matt.
And this is the lost art of common sense.
Common sense.
Crap. Ouch. As always, we are brought to you by our merch shop, so buy our shit.
Buy the shit.
My God, I can't get over that. Why'd you put?
Yes.
Oh yeah, make sure to buy Barry Todd's book. It goes to to donate to his foundation. It goes to a good cause for people who maybe can't afford to get out of self-defense conundrum. So
yeah, it's like a legal defense fund.
Yeah,
all the proceeds from his book go to that. We said we'd bring it up, so in every show,
and make sure to check out last week's podcast and video, or however you watch us or listen to us. And it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot.
And I was sad I was not here. I'm sorry, but it seemed really good. I watched it later, and it seemed really interesting.
Yeah, it was.
It was good. We got him off topic like we always do.
Oh, yeah.
Kept trying to steer us back toward the book, and we're like, cool. Talked about your book. I want to know your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Because he was a very knowledgeable dude. Had a lot of life experience, so we took advantage of it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, otherwise you get 3 idiots. So it was nice to have somebody smart on.
Thanks.
That was not a compliment to anyone, except for Mr. Todd. This week, we will be talking about Iran and the Middle East as our main topic. Then we got some other stuff to talk about later. As always, we'll be having happenings of the week and, our winners and losers. So,
and Matt's movie
review.
My movie review.
Which he will be doing, I believe, The Life of Chuck this week.
The Life of Chuck, yes.
So I'm very interested in hearing his thoughts on that. So make sure to stay tuned through the whole show. And, so let's get to it, guys. Josh, was or is Iran a threat? to us and the world.
Yes. Mostly because they have funded most of the terror and death in the Middle East and around the world for the last 20 plus years. And they literally threatened to murder people. Like, death to America doesn't mean like, hey, you're all right.
Yeah, usually when I like somebody, I don't say death to them. Hey, man, good job. Death to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It could be a culture difference. It could, I don't know. I just know that, like, if I'm trying to be
have a good day,
like sarcastic and an exit, I'm like, hey, man, yeah, have a nice life. All right, we'll see you.
Yeah.
And it kind of sounds
like
nice, but then they're like, wait, what?
Ahmed.
Are we not friends anymore? Yeah, sure. Yeah, have a nice life. Yeah.
Matt, do you think Iran was close to a nuclear weapon, or do you think it was close like Iraq had WMDs close?
I don't. The WMD is close. I mean, politicians have been saying, I even saw this thing on TikTok the other day, and I went back to the 90s. People are like, oh, they're 6 months away from having a nuclear weapon. Oh, they're really close. They have everything they need. They're really close. And it keeps saying over and over, but they never do. So I don't think I think they have a lot of weapons, and I think they have the ability to fund other people that may or may not. And they can do other stuff, but as far as nuclear weapons, I don't think so.
Do you think that nuclear administration was lying about them enriching uranium up to 60%, which has no practical use, continuing to enrich it to weapons grade?
I don't know. I just know they've been saying it for
you were both
30
kind of shaking
years.
Your head.
Yeah.
Anything above, I thought, what was this reading? Like anything above like 15 or 20 has no practical use unless you take it up to weapons.
Yeah,
grade?
something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. I remember working at a nuclear plant. I can't remember what the hell they said. Something like that. I
don't think I got the course while working at the nuclear power plant about enriching it to weapons grade.
No, but I mean, I don't know how close they were, but I know they can't have one. I mean, that's just plain and simple. They can't have one. They can't have nuclear capabilities. Because unlike most of the nations that do have,
got really brave.
Nuclear weapons, they're more of a defensive measure. Like, hey, don't, watch out attacking us because, we do have a nuclear weapon. They would use it on offense, I think. I think they would have no problem putting it in a suitcase or some way to hide it and get it into the United States to set off somewhere in the United States. I don't think they would have a problem doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I mean, seeing like, yeah, it does seem like the Iran is close to a nuke is like akin to the whole, the earth is, all the ice going to melt and we're going to be flooded in 10 years thing. But they have consistently, it seems like, according to non-biased nuclear watchdogs, that they have been enriching it and constantly enriching it, even when they said they weren't.
Yeah.
And when you have someone who's like literally threatening to wipe 2 countries off the face of the planet while developing nukes,
you should take them seriously.
Yeah. It's like if someone says they're going to do something while they're, because Iran's been responsible for the death of tons of U.S. soldiers and
Yeah. Well, they're the ones like they sponsor the Houthis.
Well, apparently Matt made a friend.
What's up, Jared?
He doesn't give a shit about the rest of us.
Hey, Jared.
Fuck you, Jared.
Jared's awesome. Fuck you, Kevin.
Man, I didn't know he's just going to call out people by name.
There'll
Damn.
be 2 more comments coming, buddy.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're not going to send an ICBM towards us. They just...
That wouldn't be how they would do it anyway.
No,
anybody who thinks, and I got in a conversation with somebody, and that was like their thing about they're completely anti-war, as am I. I don't believe in forever wars or any of that, but they're like, oh, if they shot a missile at us, we would shoot it down way before they got here. I'm like, if that's how you think Iran would deploy a nuclear weapon towards the United States, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Obviously, we'd shoot it down. We have space lasers.
Exactly. Unless they painted the missile blue, then we're screwed.
Yeah. Because, them lasers don't hurt the blue houses.
But yeah, I mean, that's how they would do it. Like, if they were developing nuclear weapons, they would be selling them, not big intercontinental missiles. They would IBC or ICBMs. They would be making smaller ones, like you were saying, and trying to ship them into the United States. Way to go!
Sorry.
Way to go.
All right. I forgive you, Jared.
I forgive you, but what's up, Jared?
What up, Jared?
Oh, now you like Jared.
Well, yeah. He didn't just single
It's
one
all
of us
about
out.
recognition, Matt.
Yeah. I didn't start this show for seeing you guys. I just want the recognition from our audience. I feed on our 2 commenters. Matt. No, I'll go, Josh. Josh, should the U.S. be more involved with, with the war that's going on over there, other than just supplying weapons to Israel? Should we bomb them? Should we send that bunker buster? I believe you have video of it.
I do have a bunker buster. You must be talking about
Iron Man?
this.
Oh yeah, badass.
Oh, it's so slow.
How can no one shoot that down? It's slow.
It's like, oh, it's fake. It's totally
What did
fake.
somebody say? It's like everybody, America's all nice until the sky starts pixelating. The way the fucking bomber is, the B-2 bomber.
Yeah.
That thing's badass.
And I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I totally forgot that there was music on there, so we're probably gonna get with the copyright.
Well, I don't even know what artist that is.
Copyright to whoever sang that song.
I'm super angry though.
Yelled that song.
Credit to whoever sang that. I forgot that there was audio. I was gonna turn the volume down.
Whoops.
Too late now.
Why we can't have nice things?
Well, I think it's badass though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should. I think it's a fine line. See, the way I thought it was going to work out is Trump is going to let Israel continue to bomb the shit out of them and wait for them to cross his red line, which was if one American is injured or killed, we're basically going to drop the sky on you. That's how I saw it.
I think he's still trying to do it that way.
Yeah, I feel like, is he going? I think he is going to do it. Because
I think he wants them to come back to the talking.
The only way he won't do it, well, and I don't know, they might be serious. The problem is they've been negotiating with them, and they've been negotiating with Iran for 20 years.
But I mean, they didn't get the holy living shit bombed out of them before.
That's what I'm saying. But that's the difference. Like they've been allowed to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it, and then they just lie and go on. And they were kind of doing that with Trump with the wishy-washy shit, and he just got tired of it. So
gave Israel the green light.
Yeah, Israel's always been kind of the U.S. bulldog in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's acting like that's new. Like, no, they've always been that way.
They're the only
they've always
Western
been
type civilization in that part of the area.
Well, and they've always been like, well, old school Israel used to be, and I guess they're kind of getting that way now again. If you blow up one of their buildings, they're going to blow up one of your towns. Like, the repercussions for attacking them was so over the top, they use that as a deterrent. But yeah, I almost guarantee you that he worked something out with Netanyahu to where, like, all right, I'm giving him 60 days. If nothing happens, you do you. That's probably the short version of how that went down. If they don't come to the table and flat out say, we're giving up our nukes, and then allow, international coalition to go in, set charges, and drop that facility in the mountain, then he's going to drop the bombs. That's the only thing. Those are the only two options. Either let us, like you said, we either do it the nice way or we do it the violent way.
I mean, I believe you got to give it credit where credit is due. Even if you hate Israel for whatever reason, that first day of fucking when they first started doing bombings and shooting missiles and shit, that was the most coordinated effort I've ever seen on one day for taking out people that they needed to take out.
Yeah, the fact that they were
very
able
little
to get
damage to civilians.
Well, they lured the generals and the nuclear scientists into an area and got them to stay there.
Yeah,
so they could blow them up.
Then they blew up like they had people.
It's like Hunger Games.
Yeah, they had people in Iran, like Mossad agents, who pretty much they built a drone base in Iran to shoot drones at their fucking missile defense system.
They have shown that they're very good at long-term planning.
Yeah. I mean, remember the beeper assassinations?
Yeah, that was like 2 or 3 years or something.
Yeah.
Like they've been using those for a while.
Yeah, it's just
who knows
crazy.
how long they were planning Rising Lion.
Yeah, I mean, I give credit due. I mean, they're good.
I mean, they hit them. So, I mean, I don't know. I think everybody, even if you say you don't, kind of wants to see what that bomb's going to do. It's like, is it going to work? And I mean, now at this point,
never been actually
even if they agree to it, I feel like we should still use the bombs.
Like, it's never been used practically, right? Like, it's always been like tested and shit, but it's never been actually used in.
Yeah, but it was literally designed for Iran and North Korea.
Yeah,
and Syria.
Bunker buster.
Yeah, the one that they're using, the MOP. North Korea and the one that they blew up in Syria.
Well,
that one was deep underground too.
Yeah, that's Moab though, mother of all bombs.
Yeah, that wasn't an actual penetrator. That was just a big ass one.
That's just a big ass bomb.
But no, they designed this bomb specifically for Iran and North Korea because they both have nuclear
not
facilities.
been used in combat.
That's what I'm saying. Even if we come to a peaceful agreement, we'll be like, "Hey, cool. We're gonna go ahead and use the bombs anyway. So let's go ahead and speed. The difference is,
you might want to give people all that
out.
nuclear, facility because we're still going to bomb it because we want to see what this shit can do.
Yeah, at this point, it's just 4th of July fireworks. It's like, and he might be pushing for that.
I like it.
Yeah, it might be the 4th of July when he drops it.
It's like, look, man, I got a timetable here. So you're going to go ahead and give up your nukes, and then I'm going to blow the fuck out of that mountain on July 4th while playing America Fuck Yeah. In fact, they should do that anyway.
Matt,
anytime we have bombing runs on, they need to have like one of those giant cargo planes just loaded with speakers playing that song.
That'd be awesome.
Matt, do you think the U.S. should be more involved?
Not really.
Now, if they went after a U.S. facility, do you think they should be more involved?
If they did that, yes. If they leave us the fuck alone, okay, whatever. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. But if they do go after a U.S. facility, then yes, we should definitely get involved and be like, you motherfuckers. This doesn't end well for anybody that messes with us.
Yeah, if they attack any of our bases, I think they should do what Trump said and just
blow the fuck out of them.
It's like somebody tweeted something about, speed or strength, peace through strength. Sometimes means walking away or something. I'm like, peace through strength means when you draw a line, you live up to your word.
Yeah.
Like if Trump says you're not having nukes, that's the end of the scenario. If you say, if one American gets injured or killed, we're going to annihilate you, that's what you do. And that's what deters other countries. And unfortunately, Iran becomes that example.
Yep.
I mean, because the Iranian people, I've worked with Iranians in my last job. I mean, Iranian people, like most people in the world, are pretty cool. Fine. Get along with anybody. It's the handful of people in charge.
Yeah, the Ayatollahs.
That fuck it up forever. The supreme leader.
Now the Shahs, the previous regime.
Oh, sorry.
They were
Isn't
more.
the prince living in the United States?
He's living somewhere, but they're more progressive. Like Iran used to be, actually not. It wasn't the the whole Sharia law type of Middle East type place. It used to be more of a progressive.
It was a religious
clubs and shit.
Revolution.
Yeah. So, but then the Ayatollahs, I don't know who instigated the regime change, if it was organic or if it was us.
I think it was a civil war.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if it was us or we tend to fuck places up when we try to overthrow governments. So
it happens.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe in regime change.
No, I believe if a country wants to go to civil war or regime change, I mean, so be it.
That was your last. We'll save that for your last question.
Oh yeah, yeah. No Middle Eastern country is coming to the aid of Iran. Josh, why is that?
Because they all hate him.
Right.
They literally Saudi Arabia, Egypt, even what's that other country that was doing a lot of the negotiations between
Qatar?
Qatar. They all want to
Is
build
it Qatar
their
or Qatar?
economies. Huh?
Is it Qatar or Qatar?
Qatar.
Qatar.
Maybe both.
Qatar is a city.
Yeah. But, like, they want to build, like, because look at all the money they spent over in Dubai. They want to build, an economic growth center over there. And people over there in Dubai, other than that, skyscraper fire, which sucked, are doing pretty good. Same thing with people in Saudi Arabia and other places. It's like, yeah, people are like, hey, if we build a strong economy, life's pretty good.
Yeah.
Where the Ayatollah is just like, nope. I mean, they're like, and they're, I don't know if them and some other people are kind of the ones who have interpreted the Quran and have kind of set, like all the radical Muslim religions follow their doctrine. It's their interpretation of the Quran.
Yeah.
So, yeah, none of them like them. Same thing with, like, everyone's like, people over here, and it sucks what's happening to the Pakistanis and, not Pakistanis, what are they? Palestinians in Gaza. But, like, no one will let them in. No one will take the refugees. Like,
did you see
that
that
when
video?
You look around and say, that's weird?
Did you see that video of the, like, American, like, the, I don't know, hippies or whatever, tried to walk through Egypt and jump into Gaza?
The Nile.
And, I mean, they would not let them in. They're like, no, we can't, we're not letting anybody in or out. And they pretty much beat them to make them off the wall.
Hey, we got enough
and they're
problems.
Like, and the guy would scream, he goes, it's not like this in America. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. Of course not.
I feel like you
every country has, their own border policies, their own policies. Not every place is like America, which I'm sure they hated until they got their ass beat by some Egyptians.
It's like, we got enough problems. We don't need hippie scabies over here.
It's just funny. I wish I should have sent you that video though, so you can put it out here. But it was like, we can't, they let us do this in America. Like, Jesus Christ, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I might as well play this one real quick, just because the way the anchor exits the screen.
Oh yeah,
is hilarious.
Yeah, this is after the second night or something like that. It was first or second night. Yeah, this is funny.
آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلوده استادیوم.
Oh shit! I'm out. Yeah, bye bye. Stage right. What the fuck? I just like how she's like, whoa! It just walks off.
Oh shit! I'm ducking out.
Oh, that was funny though. But yeah, I mean, you saw the, Saudi Arabia and the EIU, or is it EIU? Or
EIU?
No, it's the United
Arab
Emirates.
UEI, or what is it? What was it again?
UAE.
UAE. Yeah, they both
United
helped.
Arab Emirates.
Yeah, they both protected Israel from the bombing, the first night of Iran shooting missiles back. They were both.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you. Like Saudi Arabia came out and was like, Israel shouldn't have done this. I guarantee you, they were like sending them like.
They said at the same time as they were protecting Israel from being bombed. So, but speaking of Israel being bombed, before we go on to the next question, where do you think Iran's getting these hypersonic missiles?
Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Oh.
Are they using your guy?
Your guy?
Probably.
I got a hypersonic missile guy.
Yeah, I got a guy.
I don't know. Probably. I got nothing.
The Merchant of Death, possibly, now that he's out of prison because we swapped him for a basketball player.
A women's basketball player who might also be a man.
BG, who doesn't like her fans.
Yeah.
His fans.
But, I mean, do you think... I mean, I'm thinking they got him from China.
Possibly. Well, they had to. There's only a handful of companies that have hypersonic.
Whoever likes them.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were firing them. Are those the ones making it through the dome?
Yep. They're the ones making it through the Iron Dome.
They're getting it from China. That might
Yeah.
be another reason why China's been strangely quiet about this whole thing.
China just sent like a bunch of 747s to Iran.
Yeah, they think that's to get Chinese people out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been strangely quiet about this whole thing.
Russia is kind of just be like, whatever.
We got our own.
I mean, they're like, don't. The United States shouldn't be in it, blah, 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 but they're not really doing anything because,
Since you don't have anything in here about potential World War III.
Well, it's because it's not going to lead to World War III.
I don't think. Well, okay. Well, why do you think that?
Because
that's what everybody's saying. This is going to lead to World War III.
Because Israel and Iran have been at each other for 60 fucking years.
Yeah, but China gets like 80% of its oil from Iran, even though if you look at their books, they don't get any oil from
And China's a paper tiger.
No. What do you think,
Matt? And Israel did more to Iran than Russia has done to Ukraine in 3 years.
That was kind of funny, though, when Putin called up Trump, was like, hey, I'll mediate it. Like, yeah. Hey, why don't you take care of your own shit and then that war? I'll go ahead and deal with this.
Pretty much.
Thanks, bud.
That was good.
But no one's coming to the aid of Iran. This isn't going to...
Because nobody likes them.
Yeah. And the people that do aren't going to... If we start getting into this if there's any reason for us to get into this, let's say they send a missile at one of our bases and it kills, like, I don't know, some Americans or whatever, or even injures them. And Trump's like, well, here we go, bunker busting. And no one's going to do shit. They won't.
I think we have the greatest military in the history of the planet.
Yeah.
And there's not a country that could stand up to our military. I'm not talking about us going over and trying to take over the world, but as far as like just straight warfare and the threat of an enemy, there isn't a country that can stand up against the United States. And I'm talking like when we had to reach back into World War II style, where it's like we just destroy an entire country's infrastructure. I'm like, well, you're going to be busy with that, and I got a picnic to go to.
Well, I mean, let's be real. America has looked weak in the last 3 wars we've been in because we don't have end goals. We have long wars. We try to minimize civilian casualties and shit.
Leadership.
Yeah, and people like war because it makes them money.
That's another thing, and like I understand like trying to save and like not try to limit the amount of civilian death as possible. Like that's cool because in World War II it wasn't like that. It was like you just bombed the shit out of your enemy because by bombing the civilians, you're going to get public outcry for them to give up. I think that it's kind of like a psychological thing.
Can you look up how many civilians died in World War II?
How many?
More than the military.
Civilians, not including the Holocaust.
How many non-combatants died in World War II? But it's not just our military. China can't afford to go to war with us.
No.
They're already on the brink of economic collapse. So if they went to war with us and we just
38 million.
Yeah, because they just you saw all the pictures and the videos. They leveled whole towns.
Yeah, they would just bomb whole cities. Didn't matter. I mean, it would just. I mean, look at Nagasaki and Hiroshima. We just nuked them.
Yeah, that literally saved millions.
Yeah, I know. In the long run, it saved, but at the time, I mean, you leveled the whole cities.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder to our viewers on Rumble: if the screen freezes for whatever reason, like it does on my end, just hit the refresh button. There's nothing wrong with the show.
Yeah. Or just go to YouTube and it'll be fine.
No, Rumble. Smash that thumbs
Rumble,
up.
young man, rumble.
There's a chance we'll get kicked off YouTube. They have laxed their policies, though. There's always a chance we'll get kicked off of YouTube for probably me.
Yes, most definitely.
If it hasn't happened yet.
Either that or Matt finally losing his shit with Kevin interrupting him and just going
I think we'll see.
When Angry Matt comes out, the stuff that comes out of his mouth. Ugh.
Where was I? Yeah, so I don't know. I think China they're kind of doing the same thing with Iran as we're doing with Israel, as they're supplying them weapons, but they're not going to get into it.
Do you think, just off-topic question, not off topic, but if we had proof that China was supplying Iran with weapons, do you think that the U.S. would target the weapon supplies coming in?
No, I think we'd pass
Or
off
feed the intel to Israel?
I think we'd give the intel to Israel.
Yeah.
That way it's plausible deniability. You know, we're not going to do it ourselves.
Be like, hey, guess who's doing that?
But then
Hey,
we'll
you
warn
should drop
China.
a bomb here.
But then if they're like, hey,
this
China does a retaliation,
Yeah.
let's not go there.
Well, they already got their ass kicked by India, so I don't know why they'd want to get any from the United States.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
No.
Was
There
it
was
not?
some incursion China did with India, and then India came back and just beat their ass.
Yeah, I don't think China's nearly as. I think it was mostly, wasn't China just like for a while there just a threat because of, their population size?
You don't get in a land war with China.
Yeah.
But the problem with China is, too,
Easy
a
peasy,
huge
China
percentage of their
easy.
population is all condensed.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though there's tons of rumors about them not having the 1.4 billion people, and it's more like 400 million or whatever, like, I don't know. I guess if you have hypersonic missiles, you might have a hypersonic missile defense, but I think that's kind of tough. I know we're working on that right now. Space lasers.
Laser beam.
Don't let it hit your eye.
So, Josh, were you referring to the Sino-Indian War between China and India?
Possibly.
That was in 1962.
No, it was sooner than that. It wasn't
He's
a war.
got the internet.
No, it wasn't a war.
Oh, it wasn't a war?
No,
Incursion.
it was like
Chinese incursion into India.
Yeah, it was like an incursion or a battle, and then here's what I know. I would say that if you're within an area where Indian soldiers could get you, I wouldn't fuck with India, unless you're like gonna go all out, because they are brutal.
Yeah, I'm surprised Pakistan keeps fucking with them.
Yeah, and I've worked with a lot of people from India too. Not actual people you ever meet, but man,
once you wrong them. Weren't you telling me they have a caste system?
Yes, they 100% do.
That's crazy.
Oh,
India lives by the caste system.
Yeah, they do.
Like, even if you are like wealthier than somebody in a higher caste, you still have to pretty much bow down to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It's like, hey, that's a nice Rolls Royce you got there. Oh, here you go.
But I mean, you can look at. I know we're getting off on China, but you can look at China. I know they're not going to do anything because how long have they been eyeing Taiwan? I mean, if they were that much of a superpower and they wanted Taiwan, they should just take Taiwan, but they haven't.
Yeah, I don't think they have the clout the U.S. does to where we can pretty much do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt? Do you think the U.S. can do whatever they want?
Pretty much. To an extent, well, not whatever they want, but
we can't.
To an extent, we can do almost.
Yeah, we can't. I don't. Well, you know what? I don't think we can't occupy countries, and I don't want to ever to do that.
No.
But they don't have that capability, like to where, like, yeah, we're just going to do it. No one's going to do anything.
No, I think they have. I don't think they need to with Taiwan. I think they can just like have people in their government or whatever and just be like control them from the outside. They don't need to take them over.
I kind of wonder if they need Taiwan because they're in such a bad spot, and Taiwan's actually doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Because
I think
capitalism,
Taiwan is
kind of.
I think Taiwan is pretty wealthy, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a book by Jack Carr about China trying to take over Taiwan. It's pretty funny. Pretty good book. Not funny.
Is it a comedy book?
No, it's the Terminal
like
List.
Good plot to a
Terminal
comedy.
List. It's part of that. Yeah, it's really funny. they kill this guy's family, and then he has to go and kill everybody, and then
turns out they've just been slowly dredging the bottom out from under their island, and then they're just going to tow them back to the mainland.
With an
Play the long game.
Wouldn't that be a fucking move?
With an AI entity.
Like they're just floating back to the mainland.
Weren't they farther away? Ah, shit.
Over here.
That's a couple feet per month.
Global warming.
So
Oh,
just
so
slowly.
you just gave the Chinese an idea.
Just saying. Subterranean dredging. Just cut the bottom out from the island and just drag her on in.
Brilliant.
It's like, there, you're part of the mainland.
So let's get back on topic here.
Maybe.
Mark Levin, and Tucker Carlson are on two sides of this Israel-Iran war. Levin for Iran to be bombed and for our intervention, and Carlson saying we shouldn't be involved at all. Matt, do you agree with one of them, or do you agree there's like parts of each person's points to like agree with, like both their arguments? I mean, there's parts of it that
I don't know their arguments.
Are bad.
I don't really know their arguments.
Basically, Carlson is saying he's an isolationist. Don't get involved at all, no matter what. Levin, or he's more like we should be involved right now.
No, like I said before, I think we should just kind of stay out of it unless somebody attacks us. And then as soon as that happens, then yeah, we're going to get involved. I wouldn't say we're not going to get involved no matter what. But as much as we can stay out of that, since we have so much in our own country to deal with, I think we should just butt the hell out until something happens to us.
Matt, how many people does Iran have in it?
92 million.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you know more than Ted Cruz.
I know. I saw that. That's where I got it from.
He did answer the second question. Carlson just like rolled over him.
Carlson was being a dick.
Yeah.
Like that dude, to me, he's pulling a Candace Owens.
It's weird
right now. I don't know what his deal is, and like I've noticed with his shows lately that like he's like, "Oh, that's just a fact. That's just a fact."
Yeah.
Like there's people over there, this and that, and like yeah, they might be working on it because they had some guy on there, some specialist or something supposedly for Iran. He's like, "Oh, they're so far away from a nuke. It's not even fine." Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. And it's like, I get it. Like, I don't know if this is like him overcompensating because he was for the Iraq war and then he found out it was. I mean, they did have WMDBs or whatever.
WMDs.
IMDBs?
Weapons of. I was thinking of the movie thing.
IMDb.
WMDs. But was it worth going to?
There's cinephiles over there in Iraq, and we just can't have it.
I think I think you nailed it though. They're two sides of one. I don't know if is Mark Levin like calling for preemptive entering of the war. I mean, they're two polar opposites.
Yeah,
Tucker
exactly.
Carlson doesn't want to do anything.
I mean, they're both Republicans, or they're both voted for Trump, and they are on this. I think this issue has divided more people on the right than any other issue. Like everybody on the right was like, most people were like, I don't know, maybe even more than the Ukraine war.
Well, and it's funny because I think we were talking about earlier today about the underdog syndrome, where I think there's a lot of that going on with Israel, where when Israel was a small country, constantly getting attacked, everyone's like, oh, we got to support Israel, we got to support Israel. Now that they built up their military and are, coming in on the closing ends of the fuck around and find out game, everyone's like, oh, well, you can't go at them that hard, blah, blah, blah. Now we're for the underdogs, the people that have been poking the bear.
I just can't see why anybody would be for Iran.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think Tucker Carlson's, stupid college kids are for Iran because they're retarded, but
idiots.
But like, yeah, and you can't be an isolationist. That's why I don't get Tucker Carlson's a smart guy. I don't understand where he's like thinking that, oh, we don't have to do anything. Oh, they don't have a nuke yet. There you go. Let's wait till they have one. That's a great idea. That's how World War II started.
Yeah.
Yep.
There were tons of signs. Yeah, go ahead, Matt. You tell them. You know shit.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say earlier that it's kind of like with World War II. We didn't do anything. We stayed way the hell out of it until it got really bad. And then we got hit at Pearl Harbor. And then we're like, okay, fuck you all. And then got involved.
That was allowed to happen.
Yeah.
You think Hitler was like, God damn it, Japan?
Yeah. I think everybody was.
No,
I
he
think they're like,
wasn't. The only reason
"What
we
the
went to
fuck?"
war with Germany is because Hitler's stupid ass declared war on us.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We only went to war against Japan. We
That's
declared war
right.
against Japan.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot that he declared war on us. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, then Hitler's like, I declare war on the United States.
Well,
I'm like, okay, well.
Hitler sounds a lot like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The dictator.
Hey.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's kind of right. But yeah, I mean, that's why we entered the European theater, is because fucking Hitler's like, yeah, I declare war on the United
I just
States.
don't understand why would you do that. Why would you like declare war against somebody across the Atlantic?
And I think if you look at a lot of the stories from World War II, they did move areas pretty quick, but they struggled a lot to where, why would you even invite that in?
I don't know.
I mean, other than little man syndrome, but I mean, I don't know. That's what
they didn't like his art.
It's a fine line. Pacifism is leads to more death.
Yeah.
Like it's a fine line to where you wait and see, and then you have to deal with the problem. And all these, and like, I'm sorry, if you think that Iran having a nuke is not a threat, I don't even care if it's can develop nuclear grade material, weapons grade material is not a threat to the United States. You're living in a dream world.
Even at 60%, not even like weapons grade.
And I'll go
you
on.
You can
Tucker
still make a
Carlson.
dirty bomb from that.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing, and I'm assuming, because I think we have to do it too, with the International, was it Nuclear Commission or something like that?
I can't remember what the hell it is. Oh, now I'm thinking of
spent nuclear rods from a nuclear reactor are extremely deadly.
Oh yeah,
and they have nuclear power plants there. So
yeah, they have civilian plants.
Yeah, you can't make a nuclear bomb out of them.
No,
that's not how that works. But the way that a lot of reactors work is they have, your plutonium rods, or whatever they use for, I'm not sure if it's plutonium or not, but your power rods, they make them radioactive, as in deadly, through the act of fission and powering the reactor. And then they move them in. Well, the ones that they take out in the middle or whatever, when they're that spent rod, because I remember walking around and I was like, hey, what's that long case? Oh, those are reactor rods. What the shit? And like, oh no, they're new. You're cool. Now, if that was a spent rod and they open that case and you're within like 1,200 feet, you would just die.
Instantly.
Not like a week later, you'd just die. To where it's like, that's one of my fears is like, they have these nuclear reactors. All you got to do is find someone, I don't even know if there's shielding that could protect the human body from that amount of radiation, but you could chop that shit up or shave it down, put in a dirty bomb, and you could kill tons of people.
Oh yeah, easily.
So I think that's probably highly regulated, but like,
I don't know. They weren't letting the regulation like people.
That's
in.
the kind of stuff that freaks me out. Like when
they weren't letting them in.
If you attack us, we're gonna unleash whatever. That's kind of stuff. Like, did they? No, I think we can, unless it's heavily shielded, actually pick up on radioactive material moving across the border. Like we have sensors for that.
I'm sure, but I'm sure there's ways to encase it.
Yeah, it's not just Iran's a threat. It's not just nuclear, weapons grade nukes. It's like they have nuclear power plants. Nuclear power plants, through the act of fission or fusion or whatever, makes horrendously dangerous nuclear waste, which can be used for a dirty bomb. It's like, hey, here's the box of glowing nails for you. Why don't you go put that in a potato launcher and see what happens?
Yeah. So, I mean, Josh, why are people surprised that Trump was for and is still for the bombings that Israel is doing? I mean, people were actually surprised that he's, yeah, go for it,
I think people thought that Trump was an isolationist, and he's not, and he never has been. I honestly think that's what it is. Like, he doesn't want to get, he's a pragmatist?
A populist?
Well, he's a realist.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, he wants to make America great again. Slogan, whatever.
Yeah.
In order for us, we're never going to be able to pay off our debt. It's not going to happen.
No.
The only way that we can deal with our debt is to grow out of it.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we're not going to be able to do it internally. We're going to have to do it internationally through global trade, sales, stuff like that. So I feel Like, he doesn't want anything interrupting that. When he leaves office, he wants to have the United States set on a true trajectory to greatness. And he's not going to let... And Iran is a monkey wrench in everybody's shit. Everybody. So, like, when people are like, I can't believe he's going to do this. He said no new wars. And I'm like, one, I don't know what constitutes a war. If he blows up they've said it 1,000 times. I can't remember the name of the site. But if they blow up the embedded nuclear site, how is that going to war? Did we go to war when he killed...
When he put the Moab in Syria?
In Syria? Well, technically we were at war with terrorism.
Yeah.
No, who's that terrorist guy who's the top guy for Iran?
Oh, Soleimani?
Soleimani. Yeah. We didn't go to war. He just like, hey, that's a threat. This guy's... And he was linked to killing Marines. So he just did it. And surprisingly enough, because I was like, how's he going to build authorization? Trump only needs authorization if boots are on the ground.
Yep.
He can drop bombs on everybody if he wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Obama did. He dropped what? How many bombs on what was it, Libya?
Libya. He assassinated an American citizen with a drone.
Yeah, I mean, he did a bunch of drone bombings in Libya and shit. So, yeah, they only need authorization. I think
he was like,
there might be a certain cost point or something. To declare war, he needs Congress's approval.
Yeah, in order to declare war, which gives you the full budgetary might of the U.S. economy to, like, if you wanted to shift the American economy to wartime, you have to have a declaration of war.
It's the Fordo nuclear plant.
Fordo nuclear
plant. That place.
Sponsored by the new F-150.
I was just going to say. Is that the electric Mustang over there?
The new Ford Maverick, which I will be buying.
What, the electric Mustang?
No.
Oh.
I know it's June, but come on. No, the Ford Maverick. But that's for another discussion. No, I don't understand why it's so surprising. He's like, well, it's the disconnect because people think Iran's not a direct threat. People, and like the one person I got in the discussion with, we could shoot down intercontinental missiles from Iran. They are still thinking that the oceans actually still protect us. They don't. This world has shrunk to where, yeah, do they protect us from a land invasion? Yes. But do they protect us from enemies wanting to do us harm? No. It is not like it was even 20 years ago.
Yeah, they don't have steamboats going across where we can detect them.
Or the old steel submarines.
Yes.
Made out of aluminium now. Probably not.
I doubt they're made out of aluminum.
I know they're not made out of carbon fiber. Oh, it's sad. It's too soon.
You guys see Mission Impossible yet? That's all about subs. What?
Fiberglass subs?
Rude. No.
Turns out that's a bad design material.
But apparently somebody can hit off the side of one and be okay.
Well, they're soft.
Yeah.
No, they really are. Our subs.
I'm sure they have to be to take compression.
No, it's not. It's like compression, volume suppression, stuff like that. But no, they are, because they had a problem with some of our subs. Now, they may have fixed this, but there were bite marks in the sides of our subs, and it turned out it was some kind of like sawtooth fish that would come up and take fucking chunks out of the side of the submarine.
What?
Yeah. It's like some kind of rubberized coating or something, but like,
that they're like, oh, this stuff's
like, oh man, I'm gonna get me some of that. Look at that sexy tube just floating.
I didn't know that.
I think it's a whale.
Yeah, it was like happened in early 2000s or something. But yeah, they found out it was it might have been a Ripley's Believe It or Not episode or something. But yeah, it was perfect like circular bite marks out of the side of the submarine, and they found out it was some kind of fish that would like come up, latch on, and then take a big old bite out of the submarine.
That's hilarious.
Interesting.
I did not know that. I learn stuff every day.
Huh.
Why do you think
I just
people
remember
are
down
surprised by
Periscope.
Trump,
That was a great
Matt?
One. What?
You're like a normal Joe. Why were you surprised that Trump supports bombing Iran?
I wasn't surprised, but
pretend that you were, and then tell me why you were.
Pretend you're See, you go to
you
college.
just come off like you were a thespian in high school, so
you're
I need
going
you
to college right
put on
now. I mean,
acting
you
hat.
should know the college mind. Why do these college kids feel like Iran?
I don't know. I'm fucking not college age, and I do online. Not in person.
You're not going to frat parties and.
I'm not going there now. No,
I tried to join. They
did
told
that
me
years
to fuck
ago.
off.
So we don't accept dads here. I don't.
Should have gone to Gamma.
Should have. That'd be good.
Is that where the
I
Hulk
don't
went?
know. I didn't think they were surprised of anything Trump does nowadays, but I got nothing. I don't know.
Do you think this is not trying to take your show away from me, Kevin, but
No, go for it.
do you think this is well, because we've gotten visceral. Here's another thing. All like what you said, Kevin. All the reactions are coming from the right. The left's not even talking about this.
No, except for morons.
Yeah. Which do we want to play that now?
Yeah, let's play Whoopi
Let's
Goldberg.
go ahead and play them.
Yeah.
This is something.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard
and it's slow.
in my life.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing.
Let's
Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is nothing compared to the United States.
Hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit into that.
She's Iranian, too.
I'm sorry.
Well, they wear like Iranian. No, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes, it is up to them. And that's why I am saying that it is the same.
She's so dumb. I don't understand.
Someone
How can you be this
for their
$8
different
million
is not
$8 million a
good.
year.
Whoever does, it's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Iran. Do not any no one at the table should go to Iran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave States.
I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That's no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way.
Well, because they're
not
fucking
everybody
morons.
feels that way.
You know what that is? That's the version. That's the long version of Jasmine Crockett saying, "Yeah, so we constantly talking about it's illegal alien killed this person, but when are we going to talk about white supremacy?" She said that in a hearing.
Jesus.
About illegal immigration. Just totally took every family who had someone murdered by an illegal alien, took their feelings, crumpled them up into a ball, and said, fuck you, and then blew it in their face.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Talk about tone deaf.
She's from your state.
I know. But you know what? They treat us like trash up here anyway. So let's put it this way.
She from Houston?
We are in the most northern part of Texas.
Is she from Austin or Houston?
One of the dumb cities. Possibly Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, they're all.
Well, every big city's blue.
Yeah, here's what I don't get and why I'm never going to let this go. I am in the northern part of Texas. So what part of Texas do you think that'll be, Matt?
What? I'm sorry.
If you were to break, I'm in the most northern part of Texas. What part of Texas do you think that would be if you broke it up into regions? Would you say North Texas?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what's considered North Texas? Dallas.
Whoa.
We're considered West Texas or the Panhandle. It's like, what?
That doesn't make sense.
But no, it's just hopefully wherever she's from. If she's from Austin, there's no way in hell she's getting.
Are you talking about where Whoopi's from?
No, Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
Okay.
Wow, you're really good at just tuning us the fuck out, aren't you?
Probably. Well, you were talking about Whoopi, and then you're talking about she is from his state, but she's from New York, so I don't understand.
I mean, that does make sense too, though.
Maybe fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Both of you.
All right. Well, being Matt's looking up Jasmine Crockett, Josh, would you support boots on the ground if Iran goes after the U.S. military base or nope, just bombings?
Yeah, if they, I do not support boots on the ground in the Middle East at all. I don't think there's any reason for us to be there. Even if the Ayatollah somehow decided, hey, I'm going to leave and you can blow up my stuff, I do not support U.S. troops doing anything over there.
Let me refresh this question. Would you support boots on the ground if Iran opened a sleeper cell open in the United States and did a terrorist act?
No.
No?
I would completely and utterly devastate that entire country. I mean, I'm talking full Armageddon, every power plant, every bridge, every airport, every railway. I would level every part of their infrastructure to where, I mean, and just to where anybody getting Iranian oil, you're fucked. I would just level it to where there is nothing left but sand and tears.
Because I mean,
not one boot would ever touch the ground.
It is a very real threat that there are Iranian terror cells in the United States.
Everywhere.
We let in 21 million people.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
No, I think that is a threat. I think that if we end up bombing, and everybody thinks if you're okay with them using the mop on them, that you're like, oh, well, yeah, you're about war, blah, blah. Like, no, I know there's risks. But I also know there's risks of them developing nukes and then killing tens of thousands of people with dirty bombs in major cities. So I understand there's risk, and I am pretty confident that there are Iranian. Hopefully we have a line on them. But, yeah, are there Iranian sleeper cells in this country? Yes, most definitely. And that is kind of a fear. But at the same time, you got to think they're looking, say you're over here and you're in America where you can get a caramel macchiato with extra whip. And you're like, hey, shit ain't going too good over there. And they're like,
you've ever said.
We're like, hey, we're about to go down. Hit the button. Do the thing. And they're like, oh, no, I got my iPhone.
I forgot my iPhone.
I kind of like it there. It's like, just turn, you know what? I'm like, I'm going to take my vest off. I'm going to go get me a caramel macchiato with extra whip.
What about you, Matt?
That could be a real thing. I mean, think about it. They've been sleeper cells. They have to blend in. So they get a little taste of that America. Hopefully not the left America, because I don't care how much they support whatever. I guarantee you anyone who's a devout Muslim hates the left.
Well, I guarantee they're in a city. They're not on rural farmland or...
But, you never know.
They're in probably a blue...
Not Clinton, Iowa.
They might be like, oh, I look good in heels. This is nice.
You never know.
They might get the page and be like, oh, I think I'm going to switch to Samsung. So, I mean,
I look good in heels.
Is there a chance of sleeper cells activating? Yes. Is there a minute chance that we've, corrupted them enough with our American awesomeness to where they might just be like, hey, they lost. I'm just going to go ahead and do my own thing.
Yeah, what happens on the 4th of July or something like, holy shit, there's a lot of people that,
I've always had a dream of a falafel stand, and now I finally have one. It's like, blow up the building or sell falafel. I mean,
are we still on YouTube right now?
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't we be? There's nothing wrong with it.
It is falafel.
Who doesn't like falafel?
You know what it is.
I love falafel. I love falafel.
I don't know if I've ever had a falafel.
Didn't you work in St. Louis? At that Washington Street job, there was
where Jasmine Crockett was born?
Restaurant down there, and it was great.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had a falafel.
Oh, falafels are great.
What is it, like goat meat?
It's just falafels like bread.
It's goodness.
Is it like a thicker bread?
It's a churro.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
like a thick tortilla.
It's kind of like flatbread. Of course, I think flatbread's actually Turkish, but I love flatbread.
Like
I'm just saying, there's a chance, but no, I 100% do not support boots on the ground. I don't really support boots on the ground anywhere. I support boots in planes dropping bombs and shooting lasers.
Fucking lasers.
What's the point? We have proven over the last 50 years, we suck at nation building. And then there's always going to be politicians that get in the way. We would have won the Vietnam War and the Korean War if it wasn't for politicians.
Yep.
I mean, hell, Matt, you know stuff. Or you can look stuff up, but weren't the Vietnamese like days away from surrendering? Because we were just bombing the shit out of them.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
I think it was closer than what people thought it was.
Yeah, like they were
I don't know if
losing or they felt they were losing. The morale was dropping and politicians were like, and that just means you're not communicating. I don't even know why we're over there. I need to do more information.
I still don't know why we ever went to Vietnam.
And it was probably part of a war against communism.
I bet it was. I think we were trying to help South Vietnam or something.
But yeah, we come off undefeated in world wars, and then we're like, hey, let's get into this stuff, and let's get into nation building, and our system.
Yeah, the worst thing we ever did was, I think Iraq was by far one of the worst things. I mean, we won that war in like 2 weeks. Then we were there.
That's the way every war against the United States should be.
But then we just fucking tried to nation build for the next 10 years and lose more people than we did during the war.
Yeah, that's what is stupid about it.
So
nation building's dumb. We have no business.
So South Vietnam was not ready to surrender in the Vietnam War, but they were ultimately forced to surrender in the fall of Saigon on April 30th, 1975, when the North Vietnamese forces took control of the city. So
was that before or after we pulled out?
We pulled out in 73 with the Paris Peace Accords.
Right there.
We pulled out in 73, and then it took 2 years for them to be defeated by the North.
I just know if you unleash the actual full military might and just let the military do what they do. No, you can't. It looks like you were trying to strip.
The North remembers.
Oh,
Game of Thrones. I thought you were talking about the fucking North. Like,
North Vietnam.
I thought you were talking about the Confederates.
Show that one more time. A little higher.
Vietnam.
A little higher.
North Vietnam. A little higher.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
I thought you were talking about the Civil War there for a minute. I'm like,
no. Well, the Vietnam Civil War that we got involved in.
Yeah, that's politicians ruin everything. And if you lose public sentiment, either shouldn't have been in the war or they have bad communications.
Yep.
And a lot of times, if we're losing soldiers in a war, it's generally because of politicians.
You guys talk about this. I've got to use the restroom. This question I have. Will this war result in a regime change in Iran, or will they broker a peace deal before that can happen? What do you guys think?
What do you think, Matt?
Well, I don't really know enough about it to get a solid conclusion, but
just gonna mumble shit on my way out.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? I don't know. I think they'd push for peace talks and stuff, but I don't think that will ever happen. So ultimately, and I don't know. I think ultimately it'll be a regime change, but not right away. I think they'd have to just get the shit bombed out of them, and then they do it. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely their nuclear enrichment program and nuclear weapons program is definitely his last card, which he doesn't really have. I don't think they have a nuke. I mean, they might have. Do they have enough to where they could take a small amount of enriched material, to make a nuke, possibly. That's kind of what they're saying. Like they can add the stuff together, you know.
Yeah.
But
they've been saying that for 30 years.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I mean, I do know that they are enriching, you know, uranium or whatever to make a nuclear weapon. Are they doing that?
Yeah.
Yes, they're 100% doing that. If they're days away from bomb, I don't know. You don't wait for them to get that close because I'm assuming intelligence is slightly behind the curve. It's not like we have real world intelligence as far as, you know, this is exactly where they're at with their enrichment.
Yeah.
But
no, and when I
said be a regime change.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's what I was saying. But earlier when I was saying that we should do absolutely nothing, I didn't mean absolutely nothing. I meant just hold back, kind of do what we're doing now, keep an eye on them, but don't really get too much involved unless it comes out that they do have a nuke, then definitely, or unless they hit one of our bases or anything.
Yeah, I know Israel watches their bases a lot because somebody was afraid that they were trying to smuggle material out, you know, while they were bombing. Like if they were trying to get material out of Fordo nuclear plant. But Israel watches that place like a hawk, so I doubt they got anything out of it if they were going to. But if they were to the point where they actually had a nuke, or you know, I don't know how those things work, the nuclear part that they add to the bomb, they're not gonna put it on a missile. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a regime that wants to use a nuke against your enemy, you're not going to fire a missile. And granted, could they put it on a hypersonic missile? Possibly, but you're going to have to have multiple nukes that you fired. And then at that point, you might as well just consider yourself glass artwork in the desert.
Yep.
But they're going to smuggle them in, try to make them in, you know, to where you can't really blame, you know, who did what. So I don't know. They have to destroy the nuclear program, and I think they have to. It has to be a regime change.
Yeah,
it has to. And the people want it. The people. It's like what 80% of the people in Iran hate the current leadership.
Yeah, they hate the Ayatollahs.
So
they just can't do much about it.
And see, we're always meddling. We're always meddling. Then they have this nationwide protest and an uprising, and we do nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I guess there wasn't enough money into it. So.
Yep.
Let's see. So I guess that wraps up. Kevin, did you have any input on that?
I think they need a regime change. I don't think we should be actively trying to.
And I don't think it should be us.
No.
Like, you know,
if the people want a regime change, they should, you know, if the best way to end the nuclear program and you know, protect whatever our soldiers, whatever, is to, you know, have whatever the Ayatollah is eliminated, then so be it. But let the people pick what they want.
Yes. And to our viewers, feel free to comment below on any answers to our questions that you feel like you need to put in. Let's see.
Yeah, it's Willow.
Yes, well, it seems like a rerun, so we should be skeptical of WMDs. However, Trump has earned the trust of his going to play the same game as all the previous puppets president. I would agree with that.
I think he's trying to get as much information as possible.
And he has been surprisingly measured.
Yeah.
In this whole thing.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's a fucked up situation. Obviously, at some point, it got to a boiling point, and I think Israel wanted to go in sooner. I think Trump held him back. He said, give me 60 days to try to work something out, because people can say whatever. Trump is not a neocon. He's going to do his own thing. He'll listen to anybody, but he's going to do his own thing. But at some point, you know, you got to turn the screws. So hopefully that's how it goes.
Yep.
Which brings us to
winners and losers.
In my book, you're a winner too. I think you're a loser.
I think you're a loser.
I like that. I like that opening. As always, we start with the shit. So, Josh, let's go with your loser.
Oh, here's my loser.
To be coming out of our country. I mean, I grew up in a dictatorship. And I don't even remember ever witnessing anything like
so
that.
Much worse here.
To have a democracy, a beacon of hope for the world to now be turned into one of the worst countries where the military are in our streets without any regard for people's constitutional rights, while our president spending millions of dollars propping himself up like a failed dictator with a military parade. It is really shocking, and it should be a wake-up call for all Americans to say this is not the country we were born in. This is not the country we believe in. This is not the country our founding fathers imagined, and this is not the country that is supported by our Constitution, our ideals, our values. And we should all collectively be out in the streets rejecting what is taking place this week.
Weird.
So yeah, she's my loser because she's a total piece of shit.
Oh yeah,
she is. I
And there's no getting rid of her because she is a product of Obama.
Oh yeah,
like 100%. He brought in all the Somalian refugees, put them in Minnesota, I think is where she's from.
Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And she's there unless people like again, like with the terrorists, like maybe people are like, hey, it's not so. We have a real bad assimilation problem, which we'll kind of touch on with my winner. But it's like, again, we've said it multiple times in the show. When I see her, I'm assuming everyone in her district that voted for her has got water on the brain.
Nah, they're all Somalians, I think.
But it doesn't matter. It's like,
there's a lot.
I mean, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe she gets a lot of pork for her district or something. But it's like, what the shit? Like, and I don't know. I mean, you got that Trump derangement syndrome, which is like, I guess, an actual clinical diagnosis now, where people are just irrationally hate somebody and just can't, see truth or facts for what it is. But it's like, holy crap.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. Trump is so divisive that the party pretty much, like, we took all the good the Democrats had, like, because Trump's not really he's a Republican, but he's more of a moderate, to where he took a lot of old.
He's a moderate populist.
Yeah, he took a lot of the old like popular Democrat stances and he made it his. I mean, that's why blue collar workers like him. They used to be blue collar workers were more Democrat than Republican for the longest time.
I don't really know how that switched either, because I grew up. I was a Rush Limbaugh baby. I mean, I grew up listening to him in the radio. It's the only thing that was on, Rush Limbaugh. But I mean, we weren't loaded. We weren't rich. I remember someone's like, "Oh, you're a Republican. You must be rich." I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we're not poor, but it's just like,
well, the Democrats had the union for so long. It's why, and they still do have the union bosses, but not the union workers anymore.
Yeah, I just don't see the appeal of the Democrat Party anymore.
No, they've gone so far. They've had to go so far left because Trump has kind of overtaken their most popular issues. They used to be for tariffs, like big on tariffs.
Oh yeah,
he took that away from them.
I'm super for tariffs and not having an income tax.
And both parties used to be against, illegal aliens.
Yeah. Like up to Obama.
Yeah. He was called the deporter in chief. He deported like 9.3 million.
He deported everybody.
He deported a lot of people. He
and
didn't
then he
even
invited
process
a bunch
either.
of kids in.
Yeah.
For chromium.
My stepmom
couldn't
she had some issues. She was Canadian, and before that, she was from England. She is having a lot of issues with her green card when she was marrying Dad, and she was trying to become a citizen here, and she ran into a lot of bad shit. So she was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna keep my citizenship and keep my name."
Are you half illegal?
My stepmom.
Oh.
You can't be half illegal.
Are you half illegal? No.
I'm about to
I'm
call
just
somebody.
asking
No,
questions. I'm trying to educate myself, Matt.
3/4, Josh.
Oh, you're 3/4 illegal.
3/4.
That's enough. I'm calling them people.
Okay.
Hey, hail from Toronto.
All right, man. Who's your loser?
My loser, well, it was going to be
I'll be right
Whoopi.
back.
We've kind of already touched on that. Right now, I would say referees, WNBA refs, and
the worst
baseball umpires.
Yeah.
There was a game the other day, and I think this had, I don't know what it was about, but it was the Dodger game, and the pitcher was having an immaculate inning, and his last pitch went right down the middle. Not high, not low, not to any side, directly down the middle, and he called it a ball. And that ruined his inning. It's just like, what? But
Yeah.
and that's definitely not the first time. I mean, umpires are dumb, but WNBA refs are the worst.
Worst. They're worse than like high school refs.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about baseball is that is one like sport that could probably be overtaken by just computers or whatever.
It needs to be. I mean, in college, I think they're going a lot with reviews, and I think they're dealing with a lot of computer umps. I think they're trying that out a lot, and
especially around
whoever
the plate.
somebody is, high school maybe, yeah.
And
they're having a lot more success with that.
I still think you need like field umps.
Yeah. But like with strikes and balls, no, just get a fucking computer, do it.
Exactly. Then you don't have to worry about what ump you have, because each ump has a different like strike zone. Mm-hmm. It's weird. It's crazy. Yeah, and the WNBA is just garbage.
It's stupid. When someone pokes someone in the eye and then somebody else who had nothing to do with anything comes over and just nails Caitlin to the ground, just pushes her right on down, and she doesn't get a foul. She doesn't get kicked out of the game. She doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Technical on that play too.
Yeah, she got a technical for pushing back the chick who hit her in the eye.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good loser.
Yeah.
My loser is X users. Man, there's a lot of dumb people on X. There's a lot of Jew hate on X. It is crazy. People want to blame everything on the Jews, and it is. I mean, it's horrible.
Not necessarily your X viewers viewing the show right now.
Yeah, except for them.
If you're watching us, you're fine.
Yeah, but I mean, it's bad. It's gotten worse and worse. I mean, you see a lot of people like just support Iran just because it's Israel. I mean, I just can't see it. It's just, oh my God, it's a cesspool. But I mean, I like being on it. I mean, I am, but the Trump hate and Jew hate it just gets overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's the accepted.
I mean, I like it because it's freedom of speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but I mean, it is the internet, so
no, it's the new accepted racism. Whites and Jews.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my loser. So, Josh, let's see your winner.
My winner is, what would we say? Jamin Luan. Dude on Instagram. Kind of, it's a little colorful way of doing it, but kind of explained why there is rapid support bleeding from these protests that have to do with illegal immigration. And here's him explaining it.
This message goes out to all you pendejos and pendejas destroying your shit in LA. You know the difference
Great
between you
opening.
entitled fucks today that are immigrants compared to the immigrants that are boomers and Gen Xers? The boomers and Gen Xers came to America and assimilated to the American way of life and wanted to live the American dream. While you little pendejos of today, you want Americans to assimilate to your invasion. I'm gonna tell you right fucking now, that's not gonna happen. At this point, you guys have managed to push away people who were supporting you once, who were advocating for you. No. At this point, I don't give a shit if you get deported, your abuelito, your abuelita, your tío, your tia, your primos, your fucking next door neighbor. I don't give a fuck anymore. The minute you were disrespectful to my country on my soil and burned my flag, showing all kinds of levels of disrespect. Bitch, we match energy over here. Fuck you and everything about you.
He's pretty angry.
I like
a little bit.
Well, it makes sense, though. I don't understand what the hell anybody was thinking when they were like, hey, let's burn the U.S. flag and wave a Mexican flag. That's the only flag I've seen. But it's like, who exactly do you think you're winning over on there other than dumbass Democrats that are probably going to be primaried and have a decent chance of... Because there are people even like any independent, like, leaning left person is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's white people and illegals at it.
I don't know. He just kind of articulated like what pisses people off about a lot of these protests. Like the first time I saw, anytime some jerk off burns an American flag in a protest, it's like you're literally burning the flag of the nation that's allowing you to do that. And I'm not 100% sure. And now I think it has gone through the Supreme Court, so I think it is protected free speech.
It is protected free speech. It's been through the Supreme Court.
But like, we said before, it's like, okay, well, you can burn a U.S. flag, but your First Amendment right doesn't necessarily protect you from getting your ass kicked for doing it.
Exactly.
So,
which
I don't know.
saw
a few years.
Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say a few years ago, here in Iowa, there was a big deal. There was a bunch of protests going on, and somebody was burning the flag and doing a bunch of crap to the flag. And then you see this video of them doing that, and then a FedEx guy, I think it was FedEx, it wasn't UPS, it was FedEx. FedEx guy came in and with the fire extinguisher and got it and just took it from him. And I actually went to high school with that kid and middle school. That was really cool to see. He just did not give a fuck. He was like, you're messing with the flag? Nope, not happening.
Do they still do the pledge in school
Was he a
anymore?
vet?
What? What'd you ask him?
I don't think he was a vet. I don't think he was. I think he tried going in and something happened. He couldn't get in, but I don't think he was a vet.
That's pretty
yeah,
awesome.
that's what, but you shouldn't have to be a vet to care about the flag.
Exactly.
I don't
agreed.
think the flag really means anything to the people like it used to, like with Mr. Todd last week, just like the stuff that they learned when he was coming up versus like they literally were taught the founding fathers, like what they were thinking when they wrote the Constitution.
Yeah, then he said his mom.
They had to study the Federalist Papers. Now, I think his mom might have done that too.
I think his mom made him.
Which his mom was like super badass.
Yeah, she
FBI.
was a spy.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And he wonders how we dragged him off topic. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can't tell me stories like that and not expect me to drag you off topic.
Tell us more. Not
Yeah.
about your book, which is great. Everyone should
your
buy
badass
it. Link in
mom.
the comments below. But, yeah, it's like your mom's an undercover FBI agent going after communists who got outed at a DNC event.
Where else are communists going to be, though?
I mean, I'm just saying.
They're there right now.
Yeah.
They're openly communist.
Do you think it's communism, social? I'm like, do you think communism and socialism are the same thing?
Yes.
I mean, they kind of are. Well, socialism leads to communism.
Yes, it always leads to communism, so they're the same thing.
But yeah, it's like, I don't think people have the...
People want free shit, though. And that's...
See, that's just it. Like, I'm all about helping people get back on their feet. But if you're not willing... And that's why I'm glad that they're trying to make it to where if you're on... Is it Medicaid? That's for, like, disability or, like, low income.
Yeah, something like that.
Where you have to
it might
work.
just be welfare.
No, but like they were putting Medicaid restrictions in to where you have to be actively looking for a job because like if you're able, and by able I mean you have hands and a functioning brain because you can work at home on a computer, especially nowadays. Like I would say with the technology and the way that the job market's gone, it should be extremely hard not to be able to work.
Yeah. Well, it's either work or even like do community service for 20 hours a month.
Well, they tried that, and then people were like fucking themselves up on the job and then claiming comp.
Yeah.
Which comp should be exempt from that. I'm just saying, if you're living off the government and that's your life, it should suck a little bit.
Yeah.
There should be a motivating factor. I don't care if it's like Missouri's was paying for people to go to asbestos training because there was a shortage. Like if you have a shortage of a trade and you got a bunch of, let's say, not overly active people searching for employment, then they should be able to go. I'm fine with like a state paying to train someone in a trade so they can get a job.
Yeah. Agreed.
Instead of being succubus. That's what Democrats do. They make dependents. And then if you're a dependent, you're weak. You're at the total whim of the government.
For the person that gave you something or made you weak.
Well, and it does. It makes you weak. It takes your power away.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want it to suck for people to be a dick. I want it to be that so they get the motivation they need to improve themselves. So that's just me.
Matt?
So, yeah. Matt, who's
your winner?
Who's your winner, Matt?
My winner. Oh, first off,
giving us the finger. What the fuck?
Gave everybody the finger. What the fuck, dude?
Ooh, two finger.
Well, you hid the other one behind your hat, and I think you hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody.
That was not the finger.
I do want to correct myself. FedEx guy was a vet.
Oh,
he was in the Army.
I thought he was. I thought I remembered that, but I wasn't sure.
I thought he was trying to join, and then something happened. He couldn't, but he most definitely was. Anyway,
I believe
my
you
winner.
owe him a handwritten apology.
Sorry, Matt.
No, that's verbal. Like you need to write an apology. Find his address.
I will.
And like a quill,
FedEx it to him.
I'll just send him
like a quill. You have to write in quill and ink.
Make sure you get that damping pad, otherwise you're gonna calligraphy all over the place.
I'm just gonna
take calligraphy
Facebook
class.
Message him. Be like, hey, if you ever by chance watch this video, I lied about you and then corrected myself. So I'm sorry.
And he has a handwritten by quill and ink,
and calligraphy.
master calligraphy apology letter coming your way.
I'll get it on Amazon.
So who's your winner?
I don't know. Sophie Cunningham for standing up for her teammates and tackling
the other player.
Clark in the eye. He's actually
Josh played that, by the way.
You said cackling. That's what popped into my head.
Tackling.
Oh, my bad.
Tackling, not cackling.
Tackling.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Jesus Christ. And she's like a black belt in Taekwondo or karate. I think Taekwondo. But yeah, that was really cool to see.
All right. Well, my winner is the Supreme Court upholding the Tennessee ban of, surgically altering children for trans reasons.
It's false news.
And they can't give them drugs either.
Fake news.
So
it's fake news. It's false news.
What is?
Fake
They're
news?
lying. There was no mention of surgical treatment in that law. It upheld the ban for medical alterations of children.
Yes. Well, which is also...
I think it's implied, but for some reason they went out of their way not to include surgical. I think there's some other cases coming up for that. Which is good, and there's all these people like, people are going to die. Ignoring the elevated suicide rate.
There's literally no difference from the suicide rate from somebody who transitions to somebody who didn't.
Yeah, and all the Tennessee laws do is give the child time to assess their confusion.
I just don't get why people want to ruin a child's life. Like it's life altering. This is life altering shit.
That's what I understand though. Like, think about it though. Like, So someone's like, oh, I think I was born in the wrong body. And instead of treating them to make them feel okay with the body they're in, they're like, yeah, you know what? You probably were. You should take these pills and cut off your boobs.
Yeah.
Or your wiener.
Yeah.
Or deglove your arm. And
have you seen that shit? It's fucking... Like, they'll take a huge chunk of them.
No, they take like almost your entire forearm. They give transgender men unrealistically large wieners.
Yeah.
Which is another thing I have a problem with. Oh, you think you're a man? Check out this.
Yeah.
I got a Hillshire farm tucked down here.
What if you're a transition man who wanted to be a woman again? Do you still buy Tuckers?
I mean, you could.
No.
It's a great product.
It's a great product. But that was my winner, so now we're on to Trump Truth.
Trump Truth.
What I say is what I say.
I don't have a Trump voice, but it's wow. U.S. wage growth, best in 60 years. And that was my Trump Truth. Okay, well, still going.
What I say is what I say.
I was scrolling around.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how the wage growth has only gone up like, I think 3 times in the last 40 years. And I think once under Reagan, like then twice on Trump, once his first term and this time.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though, that like, I guess because from my understanding, there has to be a certain amount of inflation. Yes. I don't know why, but there has to be.
I don't know.
So, and that's what happens. So you get inflation, then you get wage growth. People can buy more stuff, creates inflation, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. And then sooner or later, you're like Poland, and you're like, hey, let's just reset our currency.
Yeah, I don't know the economy. I don't know. I'm not an economist.
Economist?
Economist. Economicist.
I'm not an economicist.
Obviously, I am not either of those things. Economist. I am not an economist, so
economist.
I don't know how
Barry Todd was,
works.
and you should buy his book. Link in the description below.
Yes,
and we get zero anything from that.
It's nice just a good cause. He was a good guy.
Good guy,
and that was a great plug right there. So,
yeah,
it's wonderful.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. Like, I'm sure there's a reason behind it because, like, you have a growing economy, whatever. But, like, at some point, shit just gets super. I don't know how people bought shit back in the day because it was so cheap. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
People bought, hey, you want a new house? That's $5,000.
I mean, it was expensive.
That's not much less than what I pay in property tax.
Yeah, but I mean, like $5,000 then is like $50,000 now because of
no, it's like no, $5,000 then was like, the hell was that movie? Old Christmas movie. I want to live.
Oh, Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like $5,000 house time. So what? 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30s.
But like even back then, it was like, oh, you go in and buy a
even
bunch
in
of
like
shit.
the 60s, it was like $20,000.
You roll up with a freaking cart full of shit and like, that'll be a nickel.
Yeah. I think an average house right now is $425,000.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I was trying to buy a house a few years back, and most of the ones I was looking at, they were nice, and they were like $150,000 to $175,000, and they were nice.
You're screwed.
I go like the next year or two later, and they're like $250,000 now.
Yeah.
Same fucking things.
No, you're screwed because where you live, like the housing market where you live is stupid. It always has been. Like even 20 years ago, it's always been like, and I don't know why, it's been super high there. Where our market has been like, compared to there, has been pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Until the last hot thing. Of course, right after I bought my house, they reassessed it for like $50,000 more than what I paid for it, which I was not happy with. And then they reassessed it to where now it's lower. I mean, it's all over the place because they literally play the market So, like, they're going to come to your house and be like, hey, it's a hot market, and I know you're not selling it, but we're going to reassess your house based on the current buying trends.
Yep.
You know, even though there may or may not be random gunshots in the background. I'm not sure who's doing that. But it's like, it's cool. We're just going to pad your tax. Now, apparently, I haven't sourced this yet. Greg Abbott signed 2 bills to protect people's
property tax?
Yes.
That'd be awesome. Property tax shouldn't be a thing.
Let's just let it be known.
I mean, it should be. But
I don't know about these 2 dorks, but I love Star Trek.
I also love Star Trek.
I like Star Trek.
You seem more like a fanboy to me.
What?
You seem more like a fanboy to me.
A fanboy?
Obviously, you're not, because you don't know what that means.
I've seen the movie. It's a great movie. It's an amazing movie.
And what was that movie about, Matt?
Fanboys.
Star Wars.
Fans of Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Yes, it was Star Wars.
Yeah,
and there
they
were
made Star Trek people look like real tools in that movie.
Was it Seth Rogen as the Star Trek guy?
Yeah, that was funny. That was good.
Yeah.
That was
I am more of a Star Wars fan. Though.
You know what? I think I know what Matt's next movie review is going to be on.
Well, that's my choice this time. So
Fine. Fanboys next week. Stay
okay.
I like that movie.
I have no problem doing that.
I think it's
That's
on
fine with
Paramount.
me.
He probably owns it. Come on.
I do
I think it's
own
on
it.
Paramount, though. Okay.
I do own it.
All right. Well, you don't have anything for Doge, do you?
I thought you did.
I didn't have. No, that was from last week. I just forgot to erase it.
Well, you can still talk about it, but if we don't have
No,
anything,
because Musk and frickin' Trump made up.
All right. Well, that brings us on Happenings of the Week, brought to you by Elevate Your Cook with Yummy Tummy Barbecue Sauces. Founded in Amarillo, Texas by Quad City Iowans, we craft every bottle with whole ingredients like ripe peaches and zesty jalapenos. Our pride, simple, easy-to-read ingredients delivering bold, smoky, and tangy flavor. Visit YummyTummyBBQ.com and pick the sauce and or sauces that's best for you and taste the honest Yummy Tummy difference. Use promo code LOSTCOMMON for 10% off your first order.
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening? What is happening?
I'm just so scared.
It's very conflicted.
I'm 74 years
about this
old.
clip.
I worry about everything.
I feel bad for that lady, but at the same time, that's a product of media. This guy's just a
it's crazy.
No! Don't! Fat boy! Fat! No!
I thought my mom was going to go to one of these.
And he paid 5 cents for it.
We just heard shots. Everyone's running. Shots or fireworks, but
Shots were fired by an organizer who murdered a homeless man.
Yeah.
Oh, is this Tennessee?
someone's saying that there's a guy with a gun.
There is one in Tennessee.
Someone just got shot in Salt Lake
Salt Lake
City at the No Kings protest.
You didn't have to get pulled.
Right there. Someone just got shot. Dude, they're on major damage control right now.
I'm not sure.
Like 10 people saw a protest organizer in a yellow vest shoot someone, and the organizers are on damage control, running around saying that they're not affiliated with it.
That was not the program.
Like, 10 to him, and then 20 minutes later, he's dead in the road. Great.
It was a homeless guy?
A homeless guy. That wasn't even one of ours.
It's all peaceful. To be honest, it's not as bad as 2020, but I think that's because of the response.
Yeah.
Not at the end, toward the end of this video, where the Seattle Police Department was confronted by their mayor.
Yeah.
Murdered shit! Let him go.
Really?
Stand your ground.
They probably don't have that law in their state.
Move back! Move back! Back it up, Terry!
You get the one where the woman got ran over.
Back up the hill! ACAB! Play your job! Play your job!
Why are you gay?
The Handmaid's Tale?
Pretty good.
Yeah. That was from Dallas.
But,
Jesus.
yeah.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and play this because I had it put up for, I had it keyed up for last week. But this is why none of this was happening in Florida.
That peaceful protests are part of our democracy. We invite people to share their opinions. That's what our country is all about. The key word in that is peaceful. And if it's peaceful, us in law enforcement are going to make sure you have a safe environment to do it in. That's part of that process.
This was my winner of the week last week.
If you let it turn violent, whoo, you do not want to do that in Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen. And just so there's no confusion, because I don't want to hear any whining later saying we didn't know, I'm going to break it down for you. All right? Because as you watch these riots unfold across the rest of the country, what you are seeing is buildings being burned down, police cars being bricked, having explosive devices thrown on them, having fire, guns pointed at them, bricks thrown at them, all and on. So I'm gonna break it down for you. All right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
Had me until that.
You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order. Not here, not in the state of Florida. So to make it real simple, if you don't want to have any of those things happen to you, obey the law. Go protest all you want. Do it peacefully. Stand on the mountaintops and yell your opinion, your views. We invite that. But don't you dare break the law.
Apparently, Matt is for beating cops.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I never once said that.
And you said he had me till there, so you're okay with beating cops.
I'm not okay with them killing people just for throwing something at them.
A firebomb?
Firebomb, okay.
He said firebomb, point a gun, you will be killed.
He gave you examples, and you're just like, nope, you take that firebomb and you eat that brick.
Never mind, I'm just not going to have an opinion.
That's fucked up, man. What the fuck? Did you mute yourself?
For the most part, the No Kings protest or whatever, it pretty much fizzled.
It didn't have the legs that I guess they thought it was going to have.
Well, I don't think... Really, all they have is illegals and white people.
I did like, and I probably should have pulled his truth, but I did like how...
Geriatrics.
Trump was like, thank goodness for the No Kings protest. So there are no kings.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. Yeah, that was good.
Now, the biggest thing about the thing where they're actually assaulting police officers, that always becomes a potential deadly situation where someone's wrestling with a police officer because they have deadly weapons on them. So as soon as someone engages in physical altercations with a police officer, it becomes a potential for a life-ending scenario.
So my thing was that, if you're pointing a gun at them, yes, they have a right to defend themselves on that. Yes, I agree with that. If they're throwing firebombs at them, yes. If they are just, if it's not lethal what they're doing, then no, don't fucking kill them. That's what my thing was.
Yeah, I think he was coming over overly harsh to prevent. And they did.
I think
From what I heard, they didn't have any problems with that part.
I bet they didn't.
The big problem is if someone engages in a physical altercation with a cop, they have access to their gun.
Right. No, I get that. Yeah.
That's why deadly force is authorized.
I don't even know if they did anything where I live. I'm sure they did, but I don't think it was anything.
We had I think we had more anti-protesters than protesters here.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think we had like 1,000 people in my town.
I'm sure we
went downtown and they were doing that. I actually knew a few people that either went or were wanting to go, but I was just like, no.
I put up my American flag on my house and mowed my lawn.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah.
So next time there's a protest in your area, Matt, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go out there with another person with a camera, and I just want you to run around with a giant Dr. Pepper flag and say nothing to anybody.
So that would
don't explain yourself to nobody.
Nope. Just like
just walk around the whole protest with your Dr. Pepper flag.
Giant Dr. Pepper flag.
There was somebody, I don't know if it was fake or real, but I hope it was real. Somebody in one of the No Kings protests came out with the sign that said, "Bran the Broken is not my king." As far as Game of Thrones reference. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was awesome, and I hope that was real.
I bet it was.
It may have been. Wouldn't have been as epic as you run around with a Dr. Pepper flag.
No, because it would have just been like, what?
You totally would have. You know what? Well, next time it's gonna happen. You're gonna do it, and you're gonna make the news. I'm like, we had the No
Dr.
Kings
Pepper guy
pro whatever nobody's into protest over here, and then there's this dude who loves Dr. Pepper.
I'm not sure if we sell in our merch shop, but we do have a Lost Art of Common Sense flag, or we possibly have one, right?
No, we don't.
I'll wear my. I'll see if I can fit into my sweatshirt, and I'll wear that too.
You'll get there, buddy. You wear that and just be like, "Yeah, Dr. Pepper."
I'm gonna have to have a few Captain.
You might be able to get us sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, they're gonna be out there,
That
be
would
like,
be awesome.
"Oh God, he's taking over the country. No Kings, Dr. Pepper, bitch."
I might have to do that.
And then if somebody engages you, you just pull out the cans and just start shaking them up. You're like, "Ah!" Which wasn't it the Dr. Pepper bottle that used to say
Cold
like
Steve Austin on them?
Yeah. Wasn't it Dr. Pepper that back in the day used to have the warning on them like "Do not open toward face, serious injury or death may occur," or some shit?
I don't know.
This is back in high school days. But I'm pretty sure it was Dr. Pepper.
I remember Mountain Dew exploded in your car.
Turns out if you leave a Dr. or a Mountain Dew can in your freaking on your dash all day in the summer in Iowa, and then you go to open it, it explodes and spews scalding hot Mountain Dew all over you.
And if you leave a half-drinking Pepsi bottle in your car in the winter in Iowa, then it will also explode.
Oh, I was following Kevin when he did that, and it was hilarious. It was like he was swerving all over the road. I'm like, what the hell? It was so hot.
It was. It burnt my face.
Oh God. So I know we have a list of things, but I wanted to talk about this Indian flight because apparently there is a
I don't know if I have it in there.
But this is the crash. Apparently some guy from England walked away from with minimal
something flew off. It was bad. I can't believe anybody walked away from it.
That's what I'm saying. Like when they said there was a survivor, I'm like, oh man, that guy's got to be fucked up. And then it turns out that like they walked away like slightly unscathed. It's like really?
They only had minor injuries. One person didn't die in that flight. You ever seen that movie Unbreakable?
Yeah.
That's it.
Like the train thing.
That's Bruce Willis.
Someone needs to keep an eye on that guy. Did
you ever find a picture?
No.
No.
I forgot.
I don't know.
That was in India?
It was from India to England.
And it crashed shortly after takeoff. So it
had all the fuel.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. How do you walk away from that?
I don't know. Unless that's what the thing that somebody saw flying off. Like you can see like a little black thing coming off the plane. Or something coming off the plane right before it crashes. So maybe that was him being somehow ejecting himself out of the
He's
plane.
like, hey, this looks like it's going to be bad. I'm just going to go ahead and jump out.
Yeah, I was going to jump out here.
And he went to his brother's cremation and he carried his casket.
Oh, it was super sad. I mean, everybody but one person died.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And I don't even know if they've come. I know they have the black boxes. I don't think they released why it crashed, but Boeing's been having a rough few years.
Yeah.
Now, that could be due to a maintenance problem or whatever.
I'm guessing maintenance is more of the problem, but I mean...
Gravitational well, you never know.
I mean, there's parts of those Boeing planes that are not assembled correctly.
Well, they were starting to farm out their manufacturing is the problem. Like the plug that blew out of that one plane, that was a subcontractor.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
You guys know anything about this Minnesota shooter that killed 2 state representatives?
The registered Republican?
Saw the video of his roommate.
He also...
Why didn't you send it to me? Was it good?
I couldn't say it. It wouldn't let me save it.
Oh.
What's that?
I saw a video of an interview with the guy's roommate.
Yeah, that weird fat dude that looks like he's never had a job.
Future reference, if you have a link, that's all I need.
From what I saw, like there's, I
Like
saw
a
this on
website.
X. I don't know. It was reported somewhere that he did it for Tim Walz, was in his manifesto, because he was appointed by Tim Walz to some kind of business thing or whatever. But I mean, the guy was obviously unhinged. He just happened to kill 2 people that voted against, 2 Democrats that voted against funding illegals for health care.
Yeah, as far as like a domestic terror event, I would say it we'll see, but it may have been
he had a bunch of
successful.
No Kings flyers on his backseat of his car.
Yeah, well, I think they were trying to say like he wasn't like a crazy left wing because he had both Democrats and Republicans on his kill list. 2 Democrats that voted with Republicans, and then the rest being Republicans. But
yeah.
And then
was the guy? Wasn't there a Republican that posted a bunch of stupid stuff like, "This is what happens when Marxism is in America" or something?
I don't know. I mean, you find that I'm sure there was. I would
maybe the only thing that annoys the crap out of me
happened.
when shit like this happens, they're like, "Oh, we need to lower the temperature on both sides."
Yes.
Really?
There's only one side creating violence. I'm sorry, there is.
And then they always go back to January 6th. I'm like, please point out one example of right-wing violence or potential violence that didn't have federal, what do they call it, assets just dripping. Like, oh, these 2 crazy right-wingers are going to kidnap the governor of Michigan. But it turns out the FBI literally talked them into it. It was 2 guys and all the rest of them were FBI agents.
There's like 8 people involved and 6 of them were FBI agents.
January 6th, 30-plus assets in the crowd. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that, because no one's ever identified the people that were climbing on the walls and breaking the windows that were all kitted out.
Really, those
were
people didn't go to
100%
prison.
Antifa.
Everybody else went to prison.
Yeah, the people that were breaking the glass, climbing on the wall, anybody wearing body armor was Antifa. I'm not saying a bunch of right-wingers don't own a bunch of body armor.
I'm not saying that, I'm sure there's a mob mentality that happens, and sometimes, people get caught up in it. And
My mob mentality would have been a lot like that anchor from the Iranian newscast video.
Yeah, just ooh,
Oh,
walk
shit.
away.
Whoops.
Yeah. So
That's the only thing that pisses me off is like the left doesn't do anything to tamp down the rhetoric, and then they try to spread it out with, oh, well, both sides need to cut back on the rhetoric and need to cool things down. Shut up.
yeah. Yeah.
Too busy working.
Would you? I didn't have this in my notes, but did you see that? I think what was it? It was a poll done to where Democrats are by far more mentally unstable, just in a general group by
By a lot.
By a lot. I think like 80% of Republicans are not seeing anybody or getting treated for any mental illness, and only like 20% of, or like 40% of Democrats are. 50%.
Well, you'd be surprised how much hard work
I can believe that.
help like tamp down the voices in your head.
Well, I mean, when you're a party of victims or victim mentality, I mean, it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, think about it. They're
when you're told it's never your fault.
For like, okay, so when we played that video of the protesters, that 70-some-odd-year-old lady who was crying, she was legitimately scared. It was pathetic as shit. But I feel sorry for her. She has drank up every bit of the Kool-Aid that has been on the mainstream media, and she is literally living her life in fear because of bullshit gaslighting that went on in the media.
Yep.
And that stuff weighs on people, and like that's why you had to watch what you say, because there's going to be some crazy asshole that's like, yeah, he is Hitler. Hitler's bad.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, agreed. So real quick, we can just skip on this, but I mean, I just wanted to bring it up. But does Ukraine not have moving pictures, like video and stuff? Because I've seen more from Iran than I have from a more civilized country like Ukraine in the last 3 years of the Ukraine war. I see more from that war than I have from Ukraine at all.
I want to hear Matt's take on this. Matt,
Well,
why
I think
has
we've
there
talked
been
about this for the
nonstop
last
coverage of anything going on in the Middle East as far as Israeli wars going? And there's been a lot of footage of fake tanks and what the hell video game do they play in one of them? Modern Warfare. It just doesn't seem to be a lot of video coming out of Ukraine.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've touched on this a few times in the last month
I'm
or
gonna
so.
touch
But
on it every time there's a new war in the world. I had to watch it and not
There's
see
a bunch
anything
of
from Ukraine.
new wars with a bunch of footage, and there's no footage from Ukraine.
I don't know. There's probably nothing really. It's either not nearly as bad as what they're saying. So it's like, oh, we can't use this footage because it doesn't show the shit that we're saying, or it's too bad and they can't do it. I don't know.
It's kind of the same thing with like, there's no way in hell they're going to fly in the sitting president and do an active war zone.
But they played the alarms.
They did. Like, hey.
While he's walking down the street casually.
It's like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
thought the Secret Service failed Trump. They flew Biden, the sitting president of the United States, into Kiev while bombing raid sirens were going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It was all set up, I think. I think they even admitted it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird. It is weird. That was a good point.
It's like Propose from Hunger Games.
Yeah.
We're a visual people.
You brought up Hunger Games a lot this episode.
Did you just recently watch it?
I watched one of them, yes.
Which one?
He's brought up Hunger Games like 5 times so far.
Ooh, but okay.
I think it was 3. Which one did you watch?
I watched the second one, Catching Fire.
That's a good one.
And why I watched that one, I was just
randomly watch the second one.
Yeah, why didn't you start with
because I didn't want to watch the first one, and the second one popped up on my screen, so I was like, I'm going to watch it.
Oh, man. See, I get sucked in. So now I watch the first one, second one, third, and then I watch the prequel.
Yeah, I watched the
wonder if
prequel. The
you
prequel
mentioned that in
wasn't
comments.
terrible. But I really can't wait for the next one to come out. That one's gonna be
Top
good.
Chinese Communist Party officials warned that if the U.S. or its allies jump into the war on Israel's side, they won't be the only ones showing up armed.
Oh shit!
I would say we'd be scared,
Except
but we're not. Say goodbye to your economy, Mr. Xi Jinping.
Do you want to play
Felicia.
Representative Padilla's?
Oh yeah, he had a traumatic experience with law enforcement when he was trying to just peacefully and totally and not
Just
out of
ask a
order,
question, he said. He didn't.
normal way. He just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go on the floor of the Senate and tell people about it.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees.
On your back.
Get on my hand. And then flat on my back. On my chest.
One hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained?
I think I heard him ask that once.
Why wouldn't he be detained? He didn't. One, he didn't announce who he was at all. He didn't have like any kind of security clearance. He didn't have. I think if you're a senator or something, or a representative.
No, they have a badge.
Yeah, they have a badge. He didn't show it. He just rushed up towards, what's her name, Kristi Noem.
No, it's a lapel pin, and he wasn't wearing it.
Yeah, he just
That
rushed up
whole
to
thing
Kristi.
was a setup.
Yeah, he just rushed up towards Kristi Noem, knowing he was going to be, like, he ran in there, like, well.
Yeah, you could hear
fast
her
walked,
in the background answering a reporter's question or like
saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really didn't give him any mind. She looked at him, saw what was going on, saw that he was being taken away, and she just kept going with her answer.
He just thought he was an interloper.
Yeah.
So it's always
Like, who's this random guy coming up to me?
That's the sad part. Is like
Again, victim
nobody
mentality.
even knew who the hell he was until this happened. Like that dude. Okay, so you're a senator. Okay.
Yeah.
We
So-
didn't know.
I guess a New York mayoral candidate was arrested for assaulting an ICE agent.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't falling in Padilla's shoes.
But I guess Hochul had the charges dropped, which I was going to look in
Is
more
that
on this. I don't know how Hochul can have the charges dropped because you would think assaulting a federal agent would be a federal crime, but
Felony.
No, it is. So if the only thing I can think of is that story is like she came out and said like, so while we're spending $50 million to protect the illegals who don't have money to fight ICE, we're going to spend $50 million. The New Yorkers, yeah, you know what I'm talking about over there with the big slice. Yeah, we're going to use your money to pay for this guy's ICE protection. If there are any state charges, they're gone. They're gone. Federal is. What can I do? What can I do?
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see how that went down.
Did you see when the Democrat governors were
Pretty vivid.
Brought up to the house? Whatever. They had some committee question them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was bad.
Oh god, the governor of Illinois is such a douche.
Pritzker?
Oh, he's dumb.
Like literally, the entire Democrat Party is railing against billionaires, and Pritzker is a billionaire.
I know.
I don't even think he earned it.
No, he's.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, look at me. I love Chicago-style pizza.
That dude loves it too much. That dude is a large man.
And it's Chicago voting for him. It's like, I don't understand. Like, at this point, oh my gosh, Chicago mayor is so stupid. I wish I had some of his clips.
Oh, yeah.
But
what did he say that, like, these ICE or whatever is like slavery?
Everything that comes out of dude's mouth is stupid. Like, in Chicago, they deserve what they get.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm like, you dumbasses literally wanted to get rid of Beetlejuice, and you elected a more... And the guy wasn't, like, lying about it.
No, he felt that way.
At some point, like, you see all these people oh, my kid doesn't know how to read, or so-and-so got shot, or this or that. And it's like, yeah, you voted for it. Sorry.
Yep.
So,
Hey, for your luck.
All right, well, you know what time it is.
It's time for Matt's movie review of the week.
We give him the title. He watches the movie. You get the opinion you never asked for. This is Matt's weekly movie review. I like movies.
And on this week's movie review of the week, it is The Life of Chuck. I saw this the other day on Tuesday. It was actually a pretty packed theater. I really like this movie. This movie is based on a short story by Stephen King. It is, I'm just going to spoil this for you. It's not a horror movie at all. It has a little bit of kind of sci-fi, science fiction stuff in it, a little bit, but it's basically the story of a guy named Chuck, and they tell it in reverse order from end to beginning. And it was really neat because at the beginning, you're not really sure what's going on. You don't know what it's about until a little ways in. It was directed by Mike Flanagan, who was the director for Doctor Sleep, which is another one of my, I love that movie. And then Ouija, Origin of Evil. And then it stars Tom Hiddleston. I can never pronounce this guy's name. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Carl Lumbly, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself plays the old grandpa, and he was great, and that is really nice to see him. It's about an hour and 51 minutes long, and at times it's a little bit slow, but I was fine with it. I would actually give this movie about an 8 out of 10. It's a very feel-good story. Tom Hiddleston does a lot of dancing, so that was interesting to see. But real good, feel-good story about a guy's life, and just kind of talks about growing up, dealing with troubles, dealing with loss, dealing with and finding what's inside yourself. So I thought it was really good. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, and that is my movie review of the week.
I like movies.
I really liked that story, so I was glad when they made that in a movie. I
was a
Mike
7.5 on it, but yeah, it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, he was really good. Yeah, Doctor Sleep is one of my favorites. I didn't really care for the Ouija movies, but
I liked all his Netflix things, Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
There were a decent amount of characters for Midnight Mass in that movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his
wife and there was in it. Yeah.
He works with the same people all the time.
Yeah. And there was a lot of people from Marvel movies that I noticed. I mean, you had Loki, Karen Gillan is Nebula, that Chiwetel Ejiofor, he's in Doctor Strange. Carl Lumbly is the old super soldier in Captain America. So that was pretty cool. And then Matthew Lillard, he's awesome and everything. It was different, and at first it was interesting to see at the beginning of the movie because there's a bunch of these natural disasters, everything's going on, and you don't know what's happening, and then it kind of pieces it together as it goes on.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite part of the short story.
I think it's funny how one of your favorite movies is Doctor Sleep, and it's got one of the most fucked up scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Oh, with the little boy.
Which one?
Yeah.
Or the baseball boy or whatever.
Yeah, I intentionally watched the TV version because the movie version is just, I was like, ugh.
The director's cut?
I didn't even watch the director's cut, just the part in the theater. It was very prolonged on how they took The Shining.
Yeah.
Or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
The juice.
Yeah.
The mist.
Yeah. I really like
those.
I think you told me this, Matt, that they're making The Long Walk.
Yeah, they are. There was a preview for it in the movie, and it's really good. Mark Hamill is in that as well.
That is by far I think that's one of my favorite Stephen King books ever. So I'm really hoping they do it justice.
I almost bought that the other day. I went to the
It's really good. I'd
bookstore to look around. I almost bought it.
It's pretty good that it only took him 30 years to figure out how to make Stephen King movies that didn't suck.
Yeah. I like the
Well, they kept remaking them for Carrie.
Not the latest Stand, but the one that was on ABC.
Not the Tom Cruise one.
Tom Cruise one.
What is Tom Cruise in?
Wasn't he in The Stand?
No.
He was in a Stephen King movie.
No.
No, he wasn't.
I can almost guarantee that.
I feel like you should look it up.
I'm looking it up right
They
now.
ruined The Dark Tower.
I thought he was in The Stand.
No. The dude from whatever, from Forrest Gump was in The Stand. Gary Sinise.
So weird. I feel like we're having a Mandela effect right now.
We are not having a
Tom
Mandela
Cruise was
effect. You're
not
just
in
a
a
fucking
Stephen
idiot.
King movie.
Like when you told me John Wayne was still alive.
He is still alive as long as I'm talking to you.
Well, so is Elvis.
And
Elvis
Drew
is still
Barrymore
alive.
is Cindy from the Brady Bunch.
Yes, that was also another one.
So here's this. No, Tom Cruise was not in a Stephen King movie. He was considered for a role in Shawshank Redemption. He was not in a Stephen King movie.
Huh. Well, I'm super
I don't
stoked
think he would.
about them bringing back King of the Hill, even though that
I never liked King of the Hill.
They are?
Yeah.
I didn't. I just couldn't get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it. I just never
I
really
like
liked
it.
King of the Hill.
I like it. Tom Redcorn's dead.
Yeah. That dude.
So is
off the
Phil.
rails, I guess.
Has nothing to do with King of the Hill, but Phil Robertson died. A sad day.
Yeah.
It's Phil Robertson. Oh,
Duck
yeah.
Dynasty.
A while ago. So did that I like to shave the side of my head. Some big food star chef.
Oh, the one
Guy.
that was in The Worst Cooks in America or whatever?
Yeah. At like 55.
Yeah.
Sure that had nothing
She
to
was
do
a,
with any
I don't know, she was a judge or
vaccines.
something, or a host of Worst Cooks in America or something. I've watched that a few times on, I think it was on HBO or something, on Max or whatever. It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
she-
It's pretty funny because these people really can't cook where the fuck. So it's funny when they had to taste their food and shit. She was pretty good. She was funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just random as shit. She was like in her 50s and just died.
Yeah. Sudden death.
And that
So
that whole syndrome didn't come around until after a certain shot came out. I'm just saying.
yeah, she was very proud of her first shot. So
And second.
and second.
And Burrell,
Yep.
And 10th.
however you pronounce it. According to a family and network, cause of death is currently under investigation with reports suggesting a possible drug overdose.
I'm
Her
not
was
going to lie and
cardiac
say I
arrest.
couldn't see her, into mescaline possibly.
Mescaline.
I mean, she was feeling good a lot.
Mescaline's such a, I don't know. I've never.
Is it a downer or
He had
not?
a
I don't
vibrant
know. I don't
personality.
really know what mescaline is. I mean,
I
I've
don't know.
heard
I
it.
heard it from Fear and Loathing in Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
that's the only place I've heard it from.
What are you talking?
I have no idea what that drug actually does.
You're in love. Wow.
Have you never seen Fear and Loathing?
Yes, I've seen Fear and
That's,
Loathing.
that's a good movie.
Literally the only time I've heard the word mescaline
Yeah,
pronounced.
but
Then we run mescaline.
does anybody else have anything else they want to bring up before we sign off?
I don't think I have anything. Do you have anything, Matt? You got anything important you want to get off your chest?
Not really. I think next week,
what movie you doing?
my movie review is going to be on. I'm deciding between How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version, because I saw that, and then I might see 28 Years Later.
That looks good.
Yeah, so I'll have to decide which one I want to do, or if there's another one.
It is ma'am.
That isn't. Let me know.
All right,
Fanboys,
well.
I'll do in 2 weeks.
All right, well, I'm Kevin.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Matt.
And this was The Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common sense!
Common Sense! Keep that vinyl spinning.
And don't be boring, be a pirate.
And have a wonderful weekend.
Awesome, Matt. Just awesome.